Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Reyes Reflection Podcast. Make sure you aren't just listening. Make sure you click that subscribe button and head over to the social media of your choice. And follow me on those socials at I'm Nathanael Reyes. Gotta shout out the partners real quick. Jocko Fuel, clean fuel without compromise. For all you fitness folks or just the people that want a healthier lifestyle, Mad Rabbit Tattoo Aftercare. Be bold, be you. They also have body washes and sunscreen for those hot summer days which are coming upon us. Make sure you use that promo code Reyes Reflection at checkout. And lastly, Arave cards, completing sets one card at a time. Head over to their eBay, Facebook, and their streams on Whatnot to get yourself started on your Pokemon card collection today. Now that is out of the way, intro time for my next guest. Some of you may have seen her on a commercial with Julia Michaels for Uber. Others may have seen her rocking some stages, and you could check out her EP, Faith Over Fear. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the lovely Kara Tenae, welcome to the pod.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's so good to be here.
Of course. Thank you again for doing this. I have to start with this. I absolutely love the name of your EP, Faith Over Fear. If my life had a slogan, that's what it would be. Why did you choose that name?
Well, I chose Faith Over Fear because I was at a point in my life where I had to make a lot of big decisions and changes. Like basically I had to make the choice to go after what it was I wanted in life. And that was music, just everything. And in order to do that, I had to put my faith over my fear because my fear was blocking a lot of things that I wanted to manifest. And so once I made that decision to do that, then everything just started manifesting. So that's why I named it Faith Over Fear.
Because at this particular time, you were not 100% in a music career. Is that correct?
I was not consistent in my music career. Like I was living a regular life, working a regular job, doing Uber on the side, and then just doing shows here and there on the side, and doing anything that I could with music, but I wasn't in it like how I am now.
You weren't swimming in the waters. You had 1 foot in, 1 foot out type of deal.
Exactly. Just dabbling, just like in and out. I'm like, I need to really do this.
Bobbing and weaving a little bit, right? Yeah.
Bobbing and weaving, yeah.
It happens to all of us. You grew up in California. What was it like for young Kara?
Oh man. Well, I'll say like it was great. Growing up in California, I had a great life. Of course, everybody goes through their ups and downs in life, but I will say for the most part, I was very blessed and, just privileged to be able to see the palm trees and go to the beach, go to Disneyland, it was great. It was a great upbringing. I was really blessed to grow up in California.
Not a lot of changes in weather out there. It's pretty beautiful all the time.
Oh my God. Like because I live in Atlanta now. So I'm seeing the difference. I'm just like, because I miss the sunshine. I miss the consistent sunshine. That's one thing I really, really miss from being in California. But yes, absolutely.
So I've been in New England. I've traveled places, but I've lived in New England pretty much my whole life. And here we have crazy seasons. We have hot summers. Falls are like that nice chill fall where the leaves are falling, the nice scenery. Yeah. Our winters are brutal, and our springs are as predictable, which is April showers bring May flowers. So it rains a lot.
Right.
The reason why I say this is because I visited Atlanta one time, and I remember the time I visited Atlanta, they closed almost everything down for half an inch of snow. And I'm like, what's funny is here in New England, we would be walking in shorts and a T-shirt to our local Dunkin' Donuts for a coffee with this weather. When I visited Atlanta, they had they have Six Flags Atlanta down there.
Yes.
And I went, and I loved it because I went around Christmas time, and me and my family, we were riding roller coasters, I think December 23rd, which is not able to be done up here in New England.
I can imagine.
If not for anything, you have better weather than us.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I will say, because I've been I've been to New York. Like my dad is from Detroit. My mom grew up in Kentucky. I've been all over, and I've experienced the real harsh winter before, and I've always been like, I want to go home. I don't want to be here. But here in Atlanta, yeah, it's not. It was still kind of crazy for me this past winter because I'm not even used to how cold it is here in Atlanta. Like, because being that I'm from California, but I mean, I've gotten used to Atlanta now. It's cool. I could tolerate it. It's cool.
You talked about how you lived in California, but you moved to Atlanta. Why the change?
Well, I just thought that it would be a good change for my career because Atlanta has become like a new mecca as far as music and entertainment is concerned, and I had been doing what I had been doing in California for as long as I was doing it, and I figured even though I was not going as hard as I'm going now when I was in California, but I just thought that it would be a good change. Also, my mom, she moved out here. She retired out here and she's getting older, and I just wanted to be near her too. And also, God told me to come. It was just a conversation I had with God, and I was just like, I don't really know what it looks like on the other side of me going out there, but I'm going to be obedient, and I'm going to take a leap, and I'm going to trust and put my faith over my fear, and I'm going to go. And it was the best thing I could have done.
Amen to that, sister, because that's how I live my life. I think it is very hard to surrender yourself, especially myself. I'm a pretty stubborn individual. So it's hard for me to sometimes fight the will of God of, God, I know that you have the best intention for me, but I don't want to do this right now. I heard a pastor one time say that it's similar to your relationship with a child. A child might say, I want dessert for dinner. But a parent will sit there and say, no. And that child might fight you on it because the parent, our parent God, our Father God, knows what's best for us in this particular moment in time.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I had to, like, I had been through certain situations in life where, I had to, be obedient. But this was just a on a whole nother level, and I had never surrendered like how I did this time, and it brought me closer to God, and it changed a lot of things in my life, and I'm just grateful that I was obedient. So
because it opened doors for you.
Absolutely.
And you got to follow your mom out there. Shout out, Mom. She got to retire.
Yes. My mom is out here living her best retired life. She's a retired, she's a veteran, retired veteran. Both my parents are retired veterans, but my mom was a school teacher. She did teaching for like 15, almost 20 years, and she got finished with that. And she was like, I'm going back down south, because my mom is from Kentucky originally. Yeah. So she was like, I'm not going to retire in Cali. I'm going to go to Atlanta. So I was like, all right, I'm going to follow you.
So your mom is just a badass person in general, because she handles people, handles kids, handles families. All right.
Yes, my mom is my hero. Like, she is the example of a strong woman. Like, she's overcome so much, like breast cancer, just being a single mother, just overcoming so many different things. And she's been my biggest supporter of my career. The most solid form of support that I've ever gotten has come from my mother. So I wouldn't have been able to do half of, not even a quarter of what I've done if my mom wasn't in my corner. So I'm just grateful for her.
And she's been able to help push you as well, because I'm sure there are times where you're fearful or you have some self-doubt, and she's like, no, you got to move. You got to do this.
Yes, absolutely. She, like, there'll be times where, I'll be like, Mom, like, I don't understand. Like, this is hard. She's like, well, you better keep going. That's all I know. You've been going hard this whole time. You can't stop now. You got to keep going. And she's always been in my corner, because there have been times where I'm like, maybe I should just go back to school and get a regular job, because doing music, it's like sometimes it could be uncertainty, and you're just going off of that burning desire that was placed in you to do it. So you it's like you don't have a plan B. Like with me, I didn't have a plan B. This was plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to Z. So but my mom, you know, she would always tell me, like, you got to keep going. You done sacrificed everything you've sacrificed now. Why would you stop now? No, keep going. And I'm in your corner. So I'm just blessed to have my mom.
Shout out moms. Yeah, because the music career is not a career in which if I go through these channels, I'm going to get a promotion. Or if I continuously do it this way, then it's going to work out. It's not one of those careers. So it's a very difficult avenue because there's different ways to success. There's different avenues in which you could take, especially now with social media. A lot of people are getting their music out on TikTok, and you know, we'll see what the U.S. government has to say about that in the next year. But
I know, right? Right.
But that's how a lot of people are putting it out there, and so. Whereas 20 years ago, that's not how you got popular with your music. You had to you were slinging CDs out to people on the streets trying to see who would pick up on it. So it's a very difficult career, and it's always changing. It's always evolving. So we need people like moms in our corner.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because it could get kind of, you know, there's no blueprint to this. You're just going off of what, you know, the desire that you have to do it, and you're literally figuring it out as you go. So sometimes it could get really hard especially if you don't have anybody and you feel alone. Like it could get really hard, and it could be a lot on your mental too. You really have to be mentally tough and spiritually tough. And, you know, when you have people in your corner to encourage you, it makes it that much easier. So yeah, definitely. Shout out to my mom.
For sure. Your mom is not the only big relationship in your life. On The Voice, you talked about how your sister and you are very, very close. What's that relationship mean to you?
Oh, man. Like, especially now, like us both being adults. Now, shout out to my sister. She just bought her first house, too. She about to turn 30 in a couple weeks. So shout out to my sister. But with her, we're very, very close, especially now that we're adults. You know, I didn't talk about this on the show, but there were times where my sister didn't always understand, you know, my drive and my passion and, you know, just the path that I took. Because my sister, you know, she followed in my mom's footsteps, and she went to school, and she is also a teacher as well. So there were times where she didn't understand, but the more that she saw me, you know, keep going, and she started to see things progress, and she's like, oh, this girl is not stopping. So, you know, she's always been supportive. She's always been in my corner. But like, I'll say like now she really supports me, and I feel like, you know, she's got my back, and she, you know, she's rooting for me. So yeah, but we're very, very, very close. Like, that's my best friend. Like, I talk to her about everything and nothing. Like, I'll just call my sister, like, what you doing? What do you want? Nothing. I just want to talk. What's up? Like, we're very, very close.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I can understand from your sister's vantage point, because I think when you are in a career like music or arts, whatever the case may be, it's not traditional, right? It's not you go to school for it. We just talked about it. There's no set blueprint on how to do it. So I think the safer route, which is what most people like to do, is go to school 4 or 5 years, work at a job at the degree that you earned, which is great. I have no shade on that. But it is people like in our field, right? Podcasting, music, art, whatever.
Creatives.
Exactly. There's a lot of risks, and there's a lot of falling on our faces, and there's a lot of failures, and we need that failure. We need it. It helps us grow. So I understand. Yes. I understand that where some people, because I have an older brother, and he takes that safer route, and I think risks to him are challenging, and he did the whole thing where he went to school, became a mechanical engineer, and he's doing great stuff. Don't get me wrong, but that was never going to be me. I was never going to be a dude that sat in a cubicle all day and could tell you all these little problems. That couldn't be me. It's not me.
Right.
I can talk your ear off, but I can't do that. So I can understand.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I definitely like, and don't get me wrong, like I've had jobs where I've had to, you know, pay my bills and to sustain and to make sure, you know, I'm eating. But I always had in the back of my mind, I ain't gonna be here forever. Every time, like I'm like, I'm not gonna be here forever. I'm not gonna be here forever. I'm about to be a star. I'm about to be a singer. I'm about to be on TV. Y'all about to see me on TV. And people would be like, yeah, people would really be supportive too, because I didn't just talk about it. Like I was like, y'all want to hear me sing? Y'all want to hear? And they, oh my God, yeah, we support you. Like that's literally how I got that Julia Michaels commercial, because I was driving for Uber, and I would talk to my passengers and they'd ask me, oh, what do you do? And I'd be like, I'm a singer. And they'd be like, let me hear you sing. And I'd be like, okay. And I would sing, and they started leaving comments on the app. And then that's how Uber got caught wind of me being an aspiring singer. And that's how I got that opportunity. So, it was just a manifestation. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I know this is hard and I'm out here hustling and I'm out here grinding, but it's just when you see those big things happen, I feel like it's like a wink from God. It's a wink from the universe telling you, like, you're on the right path. You just got to keep going, keep going. There's no blueprint, but just keep going, because you're going to figure it out as you go. So, yeah.
You brought up the Julia Michaels commercial. I want to talk about that. So at first it wasn't a set in stone commercial, right? It was a campaign that they were just having you, and then she got in your car. Can you talk a little bit more about that experience?
Absolutely. Okay. So yes, they kind of kept things a secret from me because they wanted it to be natural. They wanted to get my natural reaction. And so, they told me that, oh yeah, this is going to be a campaign. I was like, a campaign, like, okay, so what kind of campaign? Like, what are we going to be doing? Like, are we going to be filming? They were like, well, we just want you to show up here for a fitting on this day. And then I was like, okay, I still don't really know what's going on, but I'm still going to do it. So I showed up and I did the fitting. And then fast forward, I show up the day on set, and I put on my clothes. They do my makeup and hair and everything. And then I go outside, and then there's this nice car on top of this like trailer thing. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to be in there. They're like, yeah, get in. And I got in. And then they're like, okay, so we're just going to have you, we're going to cut the camera on, and then we're just going to have you, just act like you're just driving, and we're going to have you going. And I was like, okay. So I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden someone gets in the back seat, and I look, and I was like, what the, like, I saw her, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, hey girl. And she was like, hi. She was like, I'm Julia. I was like, I know who you are, girl. And then we started talking, and they were like, we love it. Yes, we love it. That was great. That was great. Let's do it again. Just to. And so we did it again. And then we literally just talked like the whole time. It was natural. Like, we talked like for hours, like, because we were on that thing for a long time, like going around LA. And, she was just giving me info and dropping gems and, just telling me about her story. And I'm doing the same thing. And I'm like, well, how can I, what can I do to progress in my career? And she was just like, girl, just don't stop, keep going. Like, she basically saying the same thing that we were just saying. You just got to keep going, and it doesn't happen overnight, So that was pretty cool. It was a really great experience. She was very sweet, very solid young lady. And that was just I didn't know that was going to be a part of my storyline for The Voice some years later. So it's just crazy how everything has manifested, and I'm just excited for what else God has in store.
Yeah, for sure. When you talked about the experience about Julia Michaels and things like that, that commercial played during the Grammys. Is that correct?
Yes. Oh, see, I don't know how I left that out. Yes, it did. It played during, and I didn't know. That's another thing. I did not know it was going to be on the Grammys. Like, it was one morning I woke up, my phone was so hot. And I was like, why am I getting all these notifications? And I had notifications because it aired on social media first, and which was on Facebook and YouTube, and like all my people were like, is this you? Is this you? Oh my God, this is, it's like I had people that I hadn't spoken to in years, like from elementary, like, oh my God, hey girl, is this you? I just saw you on. And then I went and looked, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is so cool. Still didn't know it was going to be on TV that night. So mind you, I'm a caregiver for the developmental disabled. So I was at work that night, literally at work. And luckily the person I worked with, they sat in front of the TV all day. They just watched TV all day, and the Grammys were on. And I'm like, oh, we watching the Grammys. And then all of a sudden I see my face pop up in one of the commercials, and I'm like, oh, and then everybody's looking like, that's you. What? How? Like, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then everybody started tagging me on social media, like, girl, this is you. Oh my gosh, I knew you was gonna be a star. Like, keep going, and just giving me so much encouragement. And yeah, that was crazy.
So you really had no idea that it was gonna be on TV, nothing like that.
No, I didn't know. All I knew was it was a campaign. I didn't know what they were going to put it on. I didn't know anything. And I just knew I was getting a check, and, and that's it. And it just all developed and just manifested and blossomed into something I didn't even know it was going to be. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
That's awesome. That's a great experience. I'm glad you got to have that. Thanks. Because that's another validation for who you are as an artist, and even just your faith, what we were talking about earlier. So really cool. Really cool. Mm-hmm. Let's shift gears a little bit. So you talked about how you were also in a girl group a little after high school. You didn't really get into the intricacies of that. Can you expand a little bit? What did that help with your music career and things of that nature?
Okay, so yes, I was in a girl group, one of the best times of my life. But it was development. It was a lot of development that came from that, not just artist development, but just as far as business, spiritual development. There was a lot of tests and trials that I went through with the other two young ladies that I was in the group with. I learned a lot from that. So basically we were just, performing, throughout because we're all from Riverside, California. Shout out to Riverside. We were just performing at, restaurants and showcases and just everywhere, like in the Inland Empire, in Los Angeles, Orange County, just everywhere we could, we would perform everywhere, like singing, choreography. Like we were trying to be like the next Destiny's Child. And so we were really good. And then we ended up getting a record deal to a independent label that had like distribution from one of the major labels. And we ended up doing, like, the producer that we were signed to at the time, he was working on the film Sparkle, that Jordan Sparks was in and Whitney Houston was in. Like, that's how long ago this was. But so we actually got to sing background vocals on a song. It's called Runnin', and it's by an artist by the name of Guapale. And she was working with the producer at the time that we were working with. And so we were blessed to be a part of the last project that Whitney Houston was a part of before she passed away. We did that. And then we also got to tour with Guapale. So a lot of experience, just came from being in that group, a lot of development. We were really, really, really young. I know I don't look my age. I know I look like I'm in my 20s, y'all, but I was in my 20s back then. And so we were just super young and just had to learn a lot. And but it got to a point to where, I wanted to express myself more as an individual. I loved being in the group. Like, it was great, but just as an individual, I just had so much to say and I just wanted to express myself. And so even though I was heartbroken when we disbanded, but it was still it was a blessing in disguise because I was able to jump into my creativity and be original and just be me and, learn myself as a solo artist.
Yeah, no, I don't look like I'm in my 30s either, but I think I look like I'm in my 20s too. At least I think so.
You don't. You really don't. You do. You definitely do. Whatever you're doing, it's working.
Thank you. A lot of water. It pays off for us. It's going to pay off for us.
Listen, I'm telling you, where's my water at? Like, listen, I'm telling you, water will keep you young. And a green drink. I drink a green drink almost every day if I can, like with the kale and the spinach and sea moss.
Oh, I've heard about how good that is for you. Yes.
Sea moss is really good. whoever, try CMOS. It's game changer.
Yep. I think it pays for us. It's gonna pay for us when we're in our 40s and people mistake.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure. We gonna be looking. We listen. Like our generation. Like we have so much access to information and how to stay young and how to be healthy. Like by the time we hit our 50s, like we're gonna be looking like we in our 30s. Like
that's right. Yeah. I love it. We look young, and we're gonna stay young forever. I love it.
Yeah, we're gonna be young forever. Period.
That's right. So wrapping up with the girl group, what do you think is the biggest pro and biggest con of being in a musical group?
Okay, I'll say the biggest con is sometimes you just want to be by yourself. Sometimes you don't want to have to be one with other people. Like you don't always want to have to move as a unit. Like sometimes you just want to be by yourself on your own. And it's just always having to move as a unit. And that's not a bad thing, but we need balance. And sometimes you just want to be on your own. You want to be by yourself, So I'll say that that's one of the cons. And then I'll say one of the biggest pros is it kind of is like a contradiction to what I just said, but sometimes, it could get hard and it could be a little scary, especially like if you're in a situation that you guys have never been in before, where like you're growing and it's like scary. It's like, oh, I got my girls with me, so I'm not by myself, like to have people with you to, experience the things with you. Like when it's the scary stuff, it's good to have people with you to, like I ain't in this by myself. So
no, I don't think that's a contradiction at all, because it's true. As sometimes as an individual, we do need people. We need a community, but our alone time is also is some of the best times ever too. So I completely understand that. Yep.
Yes, absolutely. So, but it's all about balance.
That's right. Yep. Before your knockout rounds, I don't know if you remember this. You threw a couple punches in. Do you know how to box?
Do I know how to box? I mean, okay, I'll say like in a previous relationship I was in, my ex would show me little stuff here and there, like this is what you do, and I did learn a little bit of that. So, but I've never boxed. Like I got in probably one fight in my life, and I was not using the techniques. Like I was on some so I mean, nah, but it's something I do want to do though. I want to take a kickboxing class, and I want to be a black belt before it's over with. I really want to do that. No, I do. I want to be a black belt. That's something I've always wanted to do, whether it's taekwondo, karate, I don't know. Just I want to be a black belt. So we'll see.
That's a really cool goal. No, I like to box. And so when I was watching you, I was like, "Ooh, look at her throw those uppercuts! All right, she knows what's up with it." Yeah,
I know a little something, just a little bit.
You dabbled. All right.
I dabbled.
You had a really successful run on The Voice with Gwen Stefani, finishing in the top 12. What are some of the takeaways from that time with a star like Gwen that you are using in your music career present day?
Well, one thing that Gwen would always encourage me to do is to just be me, just be comfortable with being who I am as an artist, because nobody could be me better than I can be me. And, there would be times where I would get a little nervous because sometimes my anxiety will get the best of me. And when I would talk to her, or I would be in the room with her and we would be having our rehearsals and stuff. I told her too, and I think this was aired on TV too. And I told her, I was like, sometimes I'll be getting a little nervous in front of you because, you're Gwen Stefani. And she's like, girl, I know I am not. She's like, you do not have to be nervous in front of me. You are so good. You just need to walk in that and just always own that. And you can't lose, So, she just was so chill and just so down to earth and just so cool, and not what I, because when you think of when you're about to be in a room with somebody that is on that level and somebody that you look up to, sometimes we put them on a pedestal, but they're just like us. you know, and that's what I've learned. Like they are just like us, you know, they just got to where we're trying to go, where we're headed, you know, and they're just, you know, paying it forward. So I just learned from her, just be myself and just to trust in myself, trust in my talent. And yeah.
Easier said than done, because I feel like I still get starstruck when I am talking to someone, meeting someone. I can sit there and try to prep and say, you know what, I'm going to act like this. I'm going to act like this. I'm going to be cool. And then all that gets thrown out the window the second I'm in front of them. So I understand that.
Oh, yeah. I be cheesing. I'm like, oh my God. Like anxiety is just like, ah.
You're like, oh yeah, I don't know if I can crawl out right now. Yeah.
I know. I get, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking about that. You ready for some burning questions then?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
All right, cool. I'm going to read some questions that some people have wrote in, and we're going to do our best to give the best advice that we can give, okay?
Okay.
Just as a disclaimer, I'm not going to put anybody on blast, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Nate, I wanted to impress this girl that I've been seeing for a couple weeks, so I told her I know how to cook, but I don't even know how to boil water. What should I do? All right, we're going to give our best advice. What should we tell our friend here?
Okay, first of all, I'm going to say this. You never want to lead with a lie.
Okay.
So, you know, you always just want to be truthful, because, and I'll just say, just for my being a woman, like, we like when men are honest, you know. So, I mean, even though it is kind of cute, like, oh, you wanted to impress me, but, you know, but I'll just say, okay, well, I would say find a recipe real quick and try to perfect it before you have to cook for her. And then when you meet up with her, make sure it's good, because it has to be good. If it's not good, then I don't know what to tell you. But if it's good and she's like, oh my gosh, this is so good, I love this, be honest and just let her know. Be like, listen, I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't know how to cook. I just said this just to impress you. Like, just so she's like, she'll be happy that you kept it real with her. Yeah. But at the same time, she'll be like, oh, how cute. Like, you wanted to impress me. That's so cute. But you don't have to lie. Don't never lead with a lie, first and foremost. But yeah, that's what I would do.
That's better advice than what I would give. Because what I would have said was, you know what, my friend? Go get some food then. Doesn't have to be anything great. Could be something cheap. And give that. And then be like, you know what, after she eats, because you can't go 5-star. You cannot go crazy extravagant, especially if my homeboy here doesn't know how to boil water. And then afterwards be like, you know what, like you said, I don't really know how to cook, but maybe we could do a cooking date. There you go.
Yes, that's a good idea as well. Yes, okay. I like that.
All right.
But honesty is the best policy, y'all. Always just keep it 100. Yeah. Just keep it 100. And if you don't know how to cook, just say, listen, I don't know how to cook. Find something that you really are good at that you could, you know, use for a date or something like that, you know.
That's right. Yeah. But we both went back and circled back into just come clean.
Yeah. Honesty. Yeah. Honesty is the best policy. Always.
Perfect. Amen to that. Next one. Hey, Nathanael, a girl asked me to hang out, but my boys and I are trying to watch an Aiden Ross live because he's doing a giveaway. What should I do? First of all, I don't even know who this guy is.
I don't know who that is either.
I don't know. Okay. All right. So
must be important to him, though. There must be something that's important. So
I guess my advice here is, if a girl is asking you to hang out and you're watching some guy on live because he's doing a giveaway, I'm going to say hang out with the girl. That's just me personally. I don't know who this guy is. I guess he's important to you, but I would never, if a girl asks me to hang out, I'm not going to say no.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. If you like her, and if you're trying, like, especially if you're just now like getting to know her and y'all feeling each other and you like her, if she asks you to hang out, you better go hang out with her.
Yeah.
Because whatever that is, like, come on. Like,
the chances of you winning a live anything, I don't foresee that being something that I'd be willing to gamble on.
Yeah, no. Especially if you really like her. If you're really, if you really like her and you want to see where it can go, yeah, go hang out with her.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. All right. Here's another one. If you could spend only one day, would you rather go back 200 years in the past or 200 years in the future? Ooh.
All
right.
Well, I'm going to be real. I probably would not want to go 200 years back into the past because for obvious reasons that I'm not going to speak of. But I probably would go into but at the same time, you don't know what's going to happen in the future though.
Right.
Like you don't know what, like it could be some crazy stuff in the future. I would probably go into the future.
Yeah.
I want to see like what's going on. Let me see what's going on in the future so I could take this back with me and I'll know how to, it'll help me move a little different,
I'm the same way. So I me too. I don't think I would go back in the past just because I think people like me weren't too liked back then. So
you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to have to say it, but you get what I'm saying. Like
glad we got to answer some of those. Perfect. All right. Top 3 artists of all time.
Ooh, top 3 artists of all time. Okay, Michael Jackson, hands down. Beyonce, and wow, like I don't have a top 3. It's just okay. I'll say, dang, I don't know. I guess I'll just say Whitney Houston.
Okay. That third one was hard for you, huh? The first two came off.
Yeah, quick. the first 2 it was easy.
Yep.
Michael Jackson, Beyonce, like
goats.
But yeah, definitely. Whitney Houston was amazing. Yeah, she was one of my biggest influences as a vocalist for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, God rest her soul.
Yes.
Favorite pizza topping?
Ooh, well, can it be 3 toppings?
You know what? Because this is your episode, absolutely.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay. Olives, green peppers, and mushrooms.
Oh, so you on that veggie vibe.
Yes, it used to be pepperoni, but now I don't eat pork anymore. I've evolved in my diet, so
same. Yeah. I don't eat pork anymore either. Wow,
See, I like that. Yeah. Yes, I'm trying to be health conscious. See, that's why you look your age.
Yes, right. Yes. It's actually just not good. I honestly, personally, I just don't like it either. Like, I never was a big fan of bacon. Like, even when I was growing up, no, I never liked. My mom would make pork chops. Wasn't a fan of it, and so that was pretty easy for me to cut out of my diet. I was just never really. I actually stopped eating it since I was like 17, 18, so almost 13, 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you stopped way before I stopped. Yeah, I was a heavy eater of pork.
Yeah.
Before I was before I evolved and became as health conscious as I am now. I love bacon, I love pepperoni, I loved ham, all of it.
Yeah.
All of it. But now I'm like, can't eat swine.
No, nope.
They eat everything.
They do. I know. Yeah, I'm not a swine guy. Nope. Favorite childhood TV show?
Rugrats. Yes. Rugrats, hands down. Rugrats. Till this day, I'll go watch Rugrats.
Really? That's something you'll watch in your spare time?
In my spare time, like if I want to laugh or something, if I want to feel nostalgic, I'll go watch some Rugrats.
Yeah. There's nothing like those babies rolling around causing mischief. I'm
telling you, Tommy, Chucky, Phil, Lil, Angelica, Susie.
Yeah. Yeah, those are some special babies for sure.
Absolutely.
What do you like to do in your spare time?
In my spare time, I like to what do I like to do? It's a lot of things. I like to work out. I'm a fitness head. I like to work out. I like to run. I like to be active. I like to shop. Retail therapy is definitely something that I enjoy. And I also like to just educate myself on things. Like I like to watch YouTube videos that are educational, things that I like to read and just grow my mind, expand my mind, just learn. It's a lot of things. But I guess those are like my top 3.
I agree. I was talking to a buddy of mine not too long ago, and I said, you can program your brain in the sense of what you want to ingest into it. So
Absolutely.
if you're filling it with nonsense, you're just going to think with foolishness. That's how you're going to think. If you're filling it, obviously we can't just be beating our head with knowledge and power and wisdom.
Right.
Obviously we do need that creative space, and we do need that lull in times where we do have mindless things. Like for me, it's Impractical Jokers. Sometimes I just like to watch something where it's goofy. I can zone out for 20, 25 minutes, and I'm not needing to concentrate as much. But we can program our brains. We can hardwire them, and the software that we implement it. So I completely agree with you on that. I think it's powerful. Knowledge is power. So I
Absolutely.
Really cool.
Absolutely. And especially being in the space that we're like the time that we're in now, it's the age of information. Yeah. We have so much access to so much information. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. we have the internet most of the time in our pockets.
In our pockets. Yeah. Yes. Like I've learned how to fix things from YouTube.
Oh, so have I.
Yeah. So many things. I've figured so many things out. Just like, what is YouTube talking about? Let me see what they're talking about. Is this okay? I could do that.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to add this to the screen. If a dog wore pants, would he wear them like this or like this?
I am hollering at this. This is hilarious. I would say, I don't know. The back one just looked better. Like, maybe it's because it looks more human-like.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that's where, they go to the back. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you can when you put a shirt on a dog, it's that front area. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yep. Yeah. Number 2.
All right. I got the chat pack for you, okay? Random question from the chat pack. Let's see what you're going to answer here today. This is great. I picked this up at a yard sale. And the woman gave it to me. At first, it was only 50 cents, and then she was like, "I'll give it to you for free because I just want it gone." And I use it all the time.
You'll find some nice stuff at garage sales.
That's right. I agree. Okay, if you had to wear a button with a maximum of 6 words on it describing your outlook of life, what would your button say? Okay, so like a pin. That's what they meant. Okay, I thought it meant like a button up. No. Okay.
Yeah. Wow, that's a good question.
It is a good question.
My outlook of life.
So 6 words.
Okay. Ooh, making me think. I'll say short. Because life is short.
Yep.
Destiny. Because I believe everybody is destined to be something in life. We all have a purpose. Purpose. I guess. Can I do purpose instead?
Yeah.
Purpose. Okay, so purpose, love.
Ooh, good one.
Because, we got to have love in life. Discipline.
Ooh.
Because, discipline. Because we got to have discipline. How many was that? That's 3 or 4?
You're at 4. We have short, purpose, love, and discipline.
Okay. Well, being that I'm a spiritual individual, I'll say God. God should have been number 1. God, can't do nothing without God.
What do you mean? He is number 1. I have it above. I wrote him
period.
first.
Yeah. See, you know what I'm saying? Period. Thank you.
I got you.
Thank you. And then family.
Love it.
Yeah. Whoa, wait.
Ooh.
Well, yes, family. I was gonna say success too, but I guess success ties into, destiny and all of that. And yeah. So I said God, family, love,
So you have God, short, purpose, love,
Right.
discipline, and family.
Yes. Yeah.
I love
Those
it.
are my 6.
I love it. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Plug in those socials. Where can people find you, listen to you, follow you?
Okay, so you can find me at Kara Tenae. That is Kara Tenae. Everything Kara Tenae. Instagram Kara Tenae, TikTok Kara Tenae, YouTube Kara Tenae. I don't have a Twitter. I don't really mess with Twitter like that. And then I have my project, which is Faith Over Fear. It's on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, like all of the streaming platforms, every last one of them. You can find me on there. And it's not just my Faith Over Fear project. Like I have singles that I've dropped, like collaborations. Just really, honestly, you just type me in on Google. Everything pops up.
Google has all the answers for sure. Yep. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day, joining me on the pod. You are now forever a friend of the Reyes Reflection, so thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. This was such a good time. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you too. That is going to do it for this episode of the Reyes Reflection. Follow me on those socials at I'm Nathanael Reyes. Share the Reyes Reflection with your friends, and check out our wonderful sponsors, Arave Cards, Jocko Fuel, and Mad Rabbit. And as always, may you live, may you love, and may you thrive. I'm Oprah as a dude, and I love you all.